why don't we go live to Hollywood?
Let's do it.
Where Ramona Shelburne, our friend with ESPN, is standing by. Hello, Hollywood. How you doing?
What's going on, Mark?
What's cooking in this whole thing? Can we start with Warriors Kings? One of your colleagues, Brian Windhorst, a couple of weeks ago called the Kings a mark. Every team won't say it, but that's who they want to play in the first round. Do these teams know what they're getting into, or do you truly favor the Warriors here?
There's two things going on. One is that Sacramento hasn't made the playoffs for 16 years, right? So this is like, you got to prove it. Like, now you're in, and everybody respects what you've done this year, but you got to prove it. And number two, which I think is probably most important in this series, these are the freaking Warriors. Right? Like, this is the defensive game.
Right.
You know, like, that's not a knock on Sacramento. That's just like, this is the defending champ. So, in my book, when you're the defending champs, you're favored until somebody knocks you out. You know, until they send them home, then you're still the defending champ. But, like, to me, Sacramento, like, I almost picked them. I would have picked them in 7. I think out of respect for the Warriors and their history, I picked them I picked Golden State in 6 in this one. But it was close. And I would not be shocked at all, because if there's one guy who knows how to beat the Warriors, it's probably Mike Brown. He's on their staff for 3 years, right? He knows their weaknesses. He knows what they do. He knows what they run. He's a defensive whiz. And, you know, they don't have a strong defensive team. That's not what they're known for, but they're young and quick and athletic, and they're going to run up and down. I mean, I was just talking to a Western Conference team, you know, talking about, you know, that it's not on the side of the Kings bracket, right? And they were kind of like, you know, I know everybody's talking about, like, oh, the Kings are a good matchup, and they don't really think so. That team's, like, young and fast and athletic. They're going to get up and down. Like, that's a dangerous team right there. So I think I know what Brian means, because Kings don't have any playoff history in recent memory, but I don't know. I think they're formidable, and you're going to have to slow them down somehow.
You know, it's interesting. I don't think Sacramento celebrated all that much when they made the playoffs.
Oh.
You know, when you think they've been out for 16 years, they would have had this huge celebration. But I think Mike is doing a kind of mental thing on them where he's like, hey, let's aim for the second round. My Kings fans friends say, hey, the Kings are not just happy to be here. They think they're moving on to the second round. Does Brown, is it his knowledge, Ramona, of the Warriors, or is it his knowledge of how Kerr reacts to losses that you think is his advantage if he has one?
I think it's his knowledge of the Warriors. You know, I mean, it's interesting. I had a long talk with Mike, I think it was a couple of months ago, when LeBron was breaking Kareem's record. So I went and called Ty Lue and Mike Brown and some of the other coaches who coached LeBron, right? And he obviously was on the Warriors staff when they played the Cavs in the finals a few times. And I was like, did you learn anything about, you know, do you know anything about LeBron, like secret sauce? Like, how do you stop him? Like, what are his weaknesses? I mean, he gave me the most detailed answer, so I'm really not going to do it justice in the way that I describe it. But he was talking about how Rip Hamilton used to get up on Bron, and, like, if you can get up under him, then you kind of slow him down. So we used to have, you know, he would say, like, I would tell Clay or whoever was guarding him, like, you don't want to body him and use your upper half. You need to use your lower half on him. And, like, I was like, it was such a detailed answer, and I'm not doing it justice, but it was just like those little things that somebody like Mike is going to know from being on the inside. Like he's going to know ways to bother Steph. He's going to know ways to put Clay in positions where he's not as comfortable shooting, right? Like, he's going to know what spots on the floor Clay likes to catch it and shoot it, right? And I don't know where you guys are up there in the Bay Area. Are you guys giving Clay his flowers? Are you guys like, I mean, for him to have 303 pointers this year, that's amazing. Like, that comeback this year, like, I don't think he's got enough credit for that, just because they've been so up and down. But my goodness, like, for him to have that many threes, made 3-pointers this year, and play as well as he has, that's awesome.
There are some media members. 2 of them are not here in this room right now, but there are some media members who are having to walk back comments from November and December when they wanted Clay to come off the bench. Yes, there are some of those.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know why those comments came out, but like, because I was, I'm in the daily conversation on that stuff too, and it's, like, the man has 2 real serious injuries. Like, if you don't play basketball for 2 years, it takes a minute. So, like, let's compare, and by no means comparing the severity of the injuries, but, like, in terms of being off of basketball, like, look at Ben Simmons right now, okay? His body doesn't work the same way it used to, because he didn't play basketball for a couple of years. Now look at Klay Thompson. It's amazing that he's come all the way back and hit 300. What did he end up with? 300, 301, something like that? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Ramona Shelburne, ESPN's with us. Hey, Ramona, how much of the Warriors' future this offseason has to do with what they do in these playoffs?
So it is so easy to say that, okay, if they go out early, they're going to be in trouble. I don't really buy it. I don't think it actually has as much. Now, like, if they get swept in the first round, yeah, that matters. Okay. But they know what they're getting into. I think a lot of it comes down to individual decisions. I think it's going to come down to, does Draymond pick up his option? Does Draymond decide to go be a free agent? Does Bob Myers decide to stay? Or does he do it a contract extension? I think, and a lot of that stuff may not, look, if they go win another title, I think the band comes back together again. Yes. But I don't know if it matters if they lose the first round or the second round of the conference finals. People are going to do what they're going to do. And the only thing I think that changes it is the winning another title. But I think we need to see where everyone's headed. And I know a lot of people think they know what's going to happen. Anybody who tells you that is wrong. Nobody knows what's going to happen, because I don't think the people involved know what they're going to do yet.
I like the Warriors to win this series. I heard Mark Spears say today that he's picking Sacramento.
Spears he would. Spears has been on that.
Exactly.
He's been lighting the beam with his crown on all year.
Damn.
Okay, I almost did. I'll tell you, it was a lot closer for me, but like it always sways me when I'm like, it's the Warriors. You just got to give them. I'm going to pick them until they lose. Right.
What the one guy though that I'm eager to see. I'm eager to see what Fox, who's been so good down the stretch of games. Yeah. What is he? Can the Warriors neutralize him in the fourth? It seems like he's like Mr. Fourth Quarter this year.
Yeah, he is, and like the key to stopping the Kings is going to be slowing down Sabonis, right? Because he's kind of like the engine. I don't want to say the engine. He's like comparing him to Draymond is not the right comparison, but in terms of how they use him, and he's such a good passer, the great facilitating center. Draymond obviously plays that role for the Warriors offensively. Like if my guess is, okay, and having covered both teams quite a bit over the years, I think the Warriors' strategy is not about, you can't stop De'Aaron Fox. He's so fast and he's so quick and all that. You can bother him, but the key to slowing them down is kind of the way they do with Jokic, right? You got to play Sabonis a little like the Warriors play Jokic. And if they can do that, that's how they win the series.
Ramona Shelburne, ESPN, is with us. Hey, is because of the 2 guys that are out for the Wolves tonight, is this a cakewalk for the Lakers? And then are you foreseeing like this Laker Memphis thing if it happens? I'm hearing everybody go, "Oh, Lakers Warriors round 2." Do you think that's where this could be going?
Are you asking me, independent writer covers the NBA, or me, employee of the worldwide leader?
I am asking the deep.
Amazing.
Yeah, right. No, but I'm asking just the deep DNA of Ramona Shelburne.
Yes. I always root for the content. I root for the show. Okay, so whatever's going to be the best story, that's what I root for. There's a lot of good stories in the next couple of rounds here, so I'm okay any which way, But I think, like, Minnesota, like, I have not seen a team do that much self-inflicted damage to itself in one game. Like, maybe ever. Have you ever seen that?
not in this moment, like right before the biggest game of the year.
I'm into astrology and stuff like that. I'm like, what was going on with the planets? Was there some kind of, like, You know, like, was there some kind of weird Kazemi or Mercury retrograde or something that made everybody act crazy that day? Like, that was an unbelievable turn of events for the Timberwolves that on Sunday. I mean, Jaden McDaniels is really good. Like, he's a really good defender, and he was probably going to spend a lot of time on LeBron James tonight. Okay, then Rudy Gobert. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to call that full on punch. It was a shove. It was a shove to the chest, kind of a punch. But when you get called the B word, and it wasn't just once, by the way. He said it like 5 times. So, like, I don't know. I know they say they had to suspend him, and I think that generally the reaction around the league is like, oh yeah, you can't allow that. I don't know. I might have played Gobert. Like, I think Kyle Anderson had a lot to do with that situation too. Like, he was really he kept on keeping on. You know, if I'm Minnesota, I'm as concerned about the fact that audio of that exchange in the locker room leaked online later. I mean, that's like a major breach of trust in a locker room. You saw that with the Warriors, obviously, earlier this year with the Draymond Jordan Poole situation where that video leaked, and that changed the Warriors as we know them. You know, they don't trust people like they used to. You know, I mean, it's a different vibe there now after that situation. So, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to see a team implode like that with these self-inflicted things and then bounce back 2 days later. But they also, they still have Anthony Edwards and Karl Towns, and those are all-stars. They're really good players. So I think I don't think anything in the playoffs is ever a cakewalk, and I don't think guys like Karl Towns who know what it's like to miss the playoffs are going to take a game like this for granted. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Lakers win it because they're at home and they have, literally the 2 best defenders on the other team are out. So that's a pretty good advantage for the Lakers. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Minnesota. They're too talented to be in this situation that they're in even.
Ramona, how many years you cover the NBA? You've been doing it a while, huh?
Yeah, I guess, let's see, maybe like 2003-ish, 4-ish.
Well, I don't know that I've ever seen, in all the years that you've been covering the league, have you ever seen anybody do what Rob Pelinka did this year? I mean, Jared Vanderbilt, D'Lo, Beasley, Mo Bamba, Rui. I mean, they added a ton. And they did it in the middle of the year, and it was amazing. What a transformation. I mean, this guy's got to be executive of the year, and I think they win tonight for sure. Could you see the Lakers make a title run?
I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to win executive of the year.
He's not.
And I'll tell you why. Because that award is voted on by your fellow executives. Okay? And it's not voted on by the media. And I think executive of the year is probably going to go to Monty McNair. I think the Kings are going to sweep that one and coach of the year. Rob, Rob, he deserves his flowers, right? Like, that was a hell of a move in the middle of the year like that, against all odds, really. I mean, nobody wants to help the Lakers like that. And he pulled that off, and he was under fire down here in LA. I mean, it was not a comfortable situation for him to be in, but he pulled himself out of it, pulled the team out of it. But I have seen an executive do that before. I've seen 2 of them. Okay, number 1. David Griffin with the Cavs basically did the same thing in one of the. Remember when Dwayne Wade and Isaiah Thomas and all these guys were on the Cavs, and they stopped in the middle of the year? They just basically swapped out half the team. Remember that one?
Yep.
And then they ended up going to the finals that year. That was like a full scale lineup change. And then the other one, you got to go all the way back. 2008. Mark, I think you were here at the time. Mitch Kupchak with the Pau Gasol trade. I don't think I've seen an in-season trade work that well.
Yep.
With that, it wasn't as many players. But to pull that rabbit out of a hat, swap out Mark Gasol and Tavares Crittenden and the guys they traded for Pau Gasol.
Right.
To go to the finals that year. Like, that was one of the best in-season trades I've ever seen. So this one, very impressive just because of the complexity of the deal and the way this team is fit together. But also, let's see what they do, right? Like those trades look good. The ones I mentioned before, they look good because they end up going to finals that year. both those teams lost in the finals. But, the Lakers, despite everything they've been through, would not shock me at all if they won the Western Conference now because of the way they've rebuilt that team.
I get it. Hey, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. Momo, July 19th, right? July 19th. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's my birthday.
Okay. All right. So since you're into astrology, I checked out your daily horoscope as a Cancer, and I want you to really, challenge yourself at this game tonight because it says that, Cancers are challenged to push the boundaries of themselves and their creative abilities in order to discover something new about themselves and what they're capable of. So I wish you courage and growth tonight, Ramona.
Oh, so I need something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need a little something.
Go into the locker room and tell LeBron off. See what happens.
That's maybe not where I'm going to go with that one.
All right. Go punch Rudy Gobert. How about that?
No, you know what? I'm mostly a shadow boxer. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to hurt my hands. Those are important to me. Two babies, I'm
just saying. Sounds to me like if you play small today, bad things are going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
I think, what I think that's talking about is that I have to write a deadline column tonight, and I haven't done that all year. Because we don't really write
pressure
game columns anymore. So, I'm feeling that, and I'm going to have to stretch out a little bit.
Okay.
Fire up the laptop. I'm going to have to, go back to what I used to do all the time when I was at the newspaper. And even when I first started ESPN, I used to write all the time off games. But mostly just do news stories. But, stretch out a little bit tonight, right?
Okay. Yep. Be courageous. Go for it, Ramona. I have faith in you.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
All right.
Thanks, Ramona.
There she goes. That's Ramona Shelburne of ESPN.